update video, I think. Yeah, I'll put this on YouTube just because I'm going to do a response video to Noel Plum. And he's almost got 1 million video views, and you know, he gets pretty good views on his videos. So apparently this is a guy, you know, that people listen to. So he's a respectable, intelligent creature. I really haven't had much communication with him over the years. Just little stuff, little comments here and there, you know. But nothing terribly hostile, nothing terribly productive, blah, blah, blah. So let's see what happens. So we did an anti-natalism video. I don't know why it didn't show up my index, but I don't think it did. So anyway, let's see what happens. Intro coming, no doubt. Oh, first we have the advertisement. I guess I'll put the sound on.
United States Air Force.
Ah, fuck you, Air Force. Oh, cool. Cool, cool, cool. 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 Just love intros. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Yeah, I seem to be recording. I mean, really. Manipulation much? Yeah, I'm just drinking while I happen to turn the camera on. I seem to be recording while I'm drinking. Jesus. You know, not a good start.
It's something I've been asked several times for my thoughts on antinatalism, so I want to give my thoughts on antinatalism. I kind of put off doing this video because Anna Cantervad has done this ridiculously long video series, like 100 videos on the same fucking subject.
Yeah, well, they really weren't that long a video, to tell you the truth. And actually, it was very seldom talking about antinatalism, actually. So it was 100 videos titled Antinatalism Depression that really didn't have anything to do with either of those two subjects 80% of the time.
It's got to be some kind of world record,
I don't think so. I had another guy made like 65 video responses to me that were all like over 15 minutes long. I think that was the record.
You either got to take your hat off to him or he wants locking up for being just a little bit obsessive.
Oh, whatever. So we're just going to waste time talking about blah, 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 blah. Right. Thank you very much.
Making 100 video series. I won't say I advise you to go and watch this video because there's 100 in the series.
Oh, whatever. Again, so you've said that 5 times now. 5 fucking times. I mean, at least he made his videos. He started talking right away. He was on his goddamn subject. He told some little Greeky story or some other goddamn story. There's little fable-y crap in there. There's all kinds of content in those 100 videos. They're all crap in my opinion. But, I mean, they're better than this shit.
Well, what I will say is I didn't want to make a video while that series was ongoing. That series is finished now. And I wanted to give my thoughts on antinatalism. But what I want to do...
Nah, whatever. I'll give my thoughts as a chimpanzee, man, who can't do any. I got to drink in the video and scratch myself and pick my nose and fart around and yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see what Monkey Man thinks. Jeez, this'll be good.
Because what I want to give you is the big head scratcher that I have with the whole undertaking. So what I want to do for the basis of...
Yeah. Well, what I want to do is the head scratcher. Like it's really this really complex idea that life on Earth evolved, and they're just a bunch of flatworms, really. The whole mechanism is basically food, shit, jizz, and whatnot. It's all kind of sloppy and stupid. It's just to replicate a fucking molecule, for Christ's sakes. Oh my God, a head scratcher. I don't understand that. As an atheist, I can't fucking understand how evolution might be a little fucktarded. Shit. Yeah, this is not going to go very well.
This video is to embrace antinatalism. Let's just say it's all true. Let's say the suffering isn't worth it. Let's say that we don't have the moral responsibility for bringing new agents into the world that could...
You don't have the moral fucking right, okay? You can't even say the sentence is correct. You don't derive a right from your fucking the fact that evolution gave you testicles. That's right. If we were goddamn assassin beetles that acquired intelligence first, could you not figure out that, oh, you know what? This is all kind of nasty, this sticking our proboscis into things and sucking their guts out. So maybe we ought to fucking make some oatmeal and suck that through our straw instead. You think they couldn't have that conversation, shit for brains? Are we really just, we're human beings, we get this Einstein intelligence, and what do you do with it? You figure out ways to evade simple goddamn words like, I really don't have any authority to impose on something. That's to you a complex subject.
End up suffering. So we haven't got the moral responsibility, and in any case, the balance of suffering over enjoyment, the scales are pointing the wrong way or whatever. I'm not going to bother arguing with either of those 2 points. I'm just going to accept them. I hope that the people who are watching this video, well, let's see.
Yeah, well, let's see just how fucking retarded you are. So the premise you've just stated is basically you're conceding that life is a stupid game that's unproductive. It's a machine running, consuming more gasoline than producing productive product. So it's running a fucking loss. It's a business in the red. And what's your solution? Let's hear this brilliance.
You'll accept the point that I want to make. The point that I want to make is this, is that different people in society, the uptake of the acceptance of antinatalism is going to depend on a few factors. And I contend that the people who are keenest to have children are the people that are, statistically speaking, going to be less likely to accept the ideas of antinatalism from a philosophical perspective.
Well, there's just no point in conceding the argument and then saying somehow now you're going to make a political argument, right? So now we're going to talk the politics of maybe even something like the Civil War. Is that what you want to do? You want to explain to me why these assholes, now they've been declared assholes by your premise. Your premise is they're committing an act that's essentially, many antinatalists have used the word rape. They're essentially raping children. And you're saying that somehow we don't have the moral authority to stop them. They're imposing recklessly based on ignorant notions that are lies and falsehoods, and yet we're not capable of acting in the defense of the victims they're exploiting. So if somebody was torturing animals in their backyard, I don't have the moral authority to make a judgment, and I don't have the moral authority to show up with an authorized officer and tell them to fuck themselves. No, I do have that moral authority, asshole, so your whole video is going to be a waste of my motherfucking time. We have a right to pass laws against assholery, stupid fuck.
If you really couldn't give a crap about having children in the first place, but you're more likely to be receptive to the idea. If you're desperate to have a family, then what you may do is, even if you understand the concepts of antinatalism, and perhaps you have some sympathy for it, you'll just reject it because you're so desperate to have a family. So I think you would see some correlation there. The more keen people are on having children, the less keen they're going to be on accepting antinatalism.
Well, whatever. I mean, the fact that people find it, the more, you want to find some correlation between people who own pets and vegetarianism. Are people that help old ladies across the street and vegetarianism? Yeah, there's probably logical correlates between these things. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with their personal desire. Like, they might have a personal desire, but they know the act is so abhorrent. They know their own life and their own inability to manage their own life is so quite obvious, all right, that it obliterates any notion that they have a right to take on the responsibility. So there's a lot more psychology that goes on here than this superficial, trivial whitewash.
Just let me say at this point, I saw it in Inmendham at one point talking on the Magic Sandwich show. I didn't really feel they gave him a fair hearing, that have to be said. So I agree on that perspective. I thought they gave him a bit short shrift on some of that. But he made the point there that people aren't interested in having children, they're interested in fucking, they're interested in having sex. I think that's an absolute load of shite.
Well, whatever. You know what I mean? Statistically, jackass, it really doesn't matter, all right? Statistically, we already know the truth, all right? 90% of people are not reproducing at a rate sufficient voluntarily, okay, without even knowing the word antinatalism, without even hearing the philosophy. 90% of the human population is not reproducing at a rate sufficient to maintain existence. That's a truth, jackass, okay? So I don't... This is just crap. So we're going to make some stupid argument that most people, can't control themselves or some other bullshit. It's absolute that. It's absolute bullshit. They haven't even been asked to control themselves, and they've already controlled themselves enough to implicate zero population growth or less. So that's the dynamic that already exists. We're talking about 10 or 15% of the human population that has in excess of 3 children. They're the ones creating all the extra population. There's a huge number of people who have no children, a huge number of people that have 1 child, and another quanta of segment who has 2. And the only ones that are creating the excess population are the ones that are 2 or more.
That part of what he said was an absolute load of shit. People are interested in having children. That's why some mothers who lose a child abduct other children.
Well, whatever. So you got facts for this? You got some proof somewhere, shithead? That's not the trend anywhere. It's not the reality anywhere. Okay? Many countries like Japan already have negative population growth. Voluntarily. The government's creating even more incentives to try to bribe people into having more kids. So what if we had a world where people actually had to pay for their kids? What if we quit giving them $10,000 per child, okay, out of everybody else's pocket? All right, it costs me $10,000 to live, just to live. Without this, it's nothing. Just to fucking live, because I have to pay for other jackasses' reproduction choices. So what if we made them pay the full 10 grand for their reproductive choice? Maybe their desire to have kids would be diminished. Do you think, moron? Do you think it might affect their desire to have kids if they have to pay an extra 10 grand a year?
People are interested in having sex, but they are also desperately interested in having children.
Yeah, I don't think they're desperately interested. I think most kids are born to stupid, ignorant cunts. Okay, the fact is that most of the excess population that takes place with people who have children before they're 18 years old. So again, you're ignorant on the subject. You have no statistics. You're pulling shit out of your fucking ass, and you're wasting my goddamn time with a bogus argument. We have argued this shit for over a year now, and this is what you show up. You show up to the dance like you're going to make some kind of profound contribution to the subject, and you're going to just pull absolute crap out of your ass. Brilliant. Thanks.
Having a sister who's on IVF who was depressed for years because she couldn't have children, it wasn't because she couldn't have sex, it's because...
Anecdotal bullshit. The fact that somebody wants to have a child does not mean they're going to have 3, you dumbass. All right? It just doesn't. So this doesn't mean anything, and again, it doesn't prove that psychological state has anything to do with any necessity. Okay, that it wouldn't take one single documentary explaining to them the responsibilities of child rearing and of child imposition if they maybe heard the testimony of a few people who said to them, you know what, I think this sucks. Okay, that people just impose life on people and then think I'm responsible to make you happy. Okay, if you think I'm going to make you happy, okay, you're going to have me so you can be happy, I think that's bullshit. I think it's selfish, and I think you ought to go find yourself a Cabbage Patch doll to hug or something. Go find an inanimate object to molest. All right? I don't exist to satisfy you.
She couldn't have children. Have you not seen the footage of these? I don't know. It's on something like South Georgia near the Antarctic or something like that.
Again, anecdotal evidence in the face of absolute fact. Are you denying the fact that, let's even reduce the number, that 70% of the human population on Earth is now voluntarily replicating at a rate not sufficient to maintain human existence? Are you going to contest that fact? 70%, without even knowing the word antinatalism. without even hearing any testimony from Jack Kevorkian or anyone else. Fuck you and this bullshit. Propagandist.
These islands, all the birds are in this colony, and some of the birds the mothers lose their little fledglings, the poor little things, and what these birds do, they actually go and kidnap another fledgling.
Again, this is how seriously you take science? And for every one of those birds, I'll show you another bird who has a nest with 3 chicks in it, and she picks one of the little fuckers up and pecks his head out and throws it out of the goddamn nest. Yeah. You haven't heard of that, asshole? They have more babies than they need just because one of them might hatch wrong, and so then they wait a couple of weeks and they say, well, we really don't need this little fucker, and they kick him the fuck out of the nest. Fail.
From another mother bird. Now these birds aren't interested, they're not doing that because they want to have sex, they're not having sex with the fledgling, they're stealing the fledgling because they want a little fledgling to bring up. I do think we have a...
Oh, well, yeah, so we're birds now. We're fucking goddamn birds. We have that kind of instinct to fledge, all right? I mean, you're fucking retarded. You're goddamn fucking retarded, okay? The fact is that most people don't desire to fledge at a sufficient rate to maintain human population. And the only people fledging at that rate are the ignorant, stupid, religious fucks that you're supposed to think are assholes. And now you're validating their assholery. Most of them are having kids because they don't have a clue what planet they're on. They don't have a clue what runs this fucking cunt, jackass, moronic planet. All right? And that's why they're having so many fucking kids. So the very thing you're on the fucking internet arguing against is the very thing you're now validating as an appropriate human response. One completely dictated by some delusional notion of God and fairy tales. Okay? The more God you have, the more babies you have. Have you not heard of that correlation too, you dumb, stupid cunt? I mean, you're a fucking goddamn hypocrite.
Desire to have sex, but we do have a desire to have children. And I think...
No, you do. Don't say we do, okay? It's just a lie, all right? The fact is culture's ingrained this crap into people's heads. There's no innate desire for a male to produce goddamn fledglings, all right? That's just a crock of shit. You can't point to one fucking biological organism on this planet that goddamn does that. I mean, that is just bullshit. By biology is saying, oh yeah, I'm going to fuck her vagina because I want a baby to pop out. That is a fucking crock of goddamn shit. And none of those animals, none of those females know that the implication of them getting basically raped most of the goddamn time is going to be that they're going to have 5 or 6 of these little monsters pop out. So fuck you in this bullshit. We want. No, fuck you.
It varies. Some people have a stronger desire than others, and that those that have the weaker desire are more likely to accept antinatalism. So
it's a conditioned response, shithead, and that's all it is, all right? You can condition people into all kinds of bizarre and silly preferences. So fail, fail, fail.
Far so good. Have a drink.
Yeah, why would there be such a high correlation between ignorance and religion and procreation, jackass? Do you think the religious are genetically religious? Is that your argument? And you can't even get through a 7-minute video without fucking drinking twice? Preposterous.
So this is my point then. If we accept that antinatalism is true, where would we go from there?
Well, I guess where we would go is where the vast majority of people are already, and we would just wise up the stupid 15% that are creating the entire problem. So all we do is reform the behavior of the 15% and the whole thing is over. The first policy we might do is quit subsidizing childbirth, and we might pay, desperately poor, silly motherfuckers. We might actually pay them to get sterilized. Okay? Yeah. You don't think that would change the equation dramatically, jackass? Huh? You got a counter-argue to me that to something? Oh, what? Is it immoral to pay people to sterilize themselves? Is that what you're going to argue to me? It's a violation of God's law? Is that what you're going to argue? What's going to be your argument, shit for brains?
We go from that position towards, in the long term, minimizing suffering by reducing the population down to nothing. 2 ways of doing it. One, we could do the kind of Dr. Evil thing and create some kind of virus that just wipes everybody out. with a sort of mad cat.
Yeah, well, wait, you're just, like, again, you haven't paid any attention to this subject whatsoever. Nobody's proposing anything like that. There's no need to do any of that. Like I said, we're already there with 80% of the human fucking population, you jackass. And the only people still having too many kids are poor and desperate. So I guess if you made them less poor and less desperate, they'll have less kids. And this is obviously proven fact already anyway, okay? Because the sociologists will tell you that because they've studied these things in India. And all they have to do is get a girl through high school. If they get a girl through high school, she has half as many children. That's all they have to do. And the birth rate goes from negative birth rates to too many. Right, so instead of doubling population with the girls who don't graduate from high school, and population reduction with the girls that do. That's statistical fact. Those are the facts, asshole. This isn't that complicated.
Type thing, or we could go about convincing people. Well, how would you do that? Well, it seems to me that most of one of these things.
Again, they don't have to be convinced to do anything other than quit subsidizing childbirth. If you quit subsidizing it and you give poor people a tiny incentive, all right, to go to high school instead of having babies, the problem is over.
These antinatalists seem to do is to just go around espousing antinatalism, and that may convince the odd person not to have children. But in terms of effectiveness, not only is this about as effective as pissing and playing...
Yeah, whatever. So again, ignore the entire argument. So this is worse than creationist crap, right? So you're like a creationist. You go find one deformed fossil and you say, this is the fossil record. Right? We've made hundreds of videos, all kinds of proposals in those videos, all kinds of talks about, people's reproductivity and how to socially migrate people to this position without they don't even have to believe in it. Like I said, most people choose by preference not to fledge, asshole. They rather have a life than be a babysitter, and that's the truth. Most people want a life, okay? They don't want to be a servant to a child, you jackass. So you're not even getting the demographics right. You're not even getting the trend line right. Those are already the trends, shithead. The trends are already in the opposite direction of baby boomer psychology. That is over, and it'll stay over as long as you give people something else to live for.
With the steam, I propose that what you're actually doing is you're removing from the gene pool, statistically speaking, a disproportionate number of people who don't really give a crap about having children anyway, because, as we've suggested, there's this correlation between how likely you are to have children and how likely you are to accept antinatalism.
Well, this is just obviously nonsense. So again, this is pseudoscience. This isn't even close to any kind of legitimate science. There is no gene pool removal, all right, in a circumstance where people use condoms, okay, but don't select for any philosophical preference, okay? We know who's breeding on planet Earth, asshole. They're not smart people, they're dumb people, generally speaking, 9 to 1, all right? That's the reality of what's going on planet Earth right the fuck now, shithead, all right? So talk about that, all right, that people are just breeding themselves into fucking stupidity.
So here is my suggestion, antinatalists, for what you should do. If in the long term you want to minimise the human population, minimise the amount of suffering, rather than...
Well, again, that's not the subject of fucking antinatalism, isn't minimize, all right? The subject is life is fail. Let's just slide out of here gracefully. A graceful exit is what the subject is, shithead.
Not having any children of your own, have as many children as you possibly can. Furthermore, for some...
Yeah, whatever. That's really logical. Yes, solve the problem by making more mess. And you think, what, it'll only take about, 10,000 years for any kind of genetic effect to exist? So you actually think that people's desire, the institution of child rearing is biological. You actually think it's in their genetic code. So how the fuck can you argue with fundamentalist Islam? It's their genetic code. They can't be anything else than what they are. It's in their genetic code to love Mohammed. All right? Are you going to say their love for Muhammad is less strong than their desire to have children? Are you going to make some idiotic argument for that? So, I mean, it's quite obviously it's genetic. How could they possibly help it? Why are you arguing with them? It's genetic, shithead. I mean, this is the most inane, imbecilic, pseudoscience-y, insult to intelligence kind of crap. I mean, you're nothing but a truther lunatic.
Somebody like Gary, for God's sake, become a sperm donor. The chances are that your drive to have children, scratch that and a lack of drive.
Well, whatever. So you mentioned the Magic Sandwich Show where a scientist like Thunderfoot thinks philosophy is genetic. He thinks the idea of antinatalism is somehow a genetic function. You people are preposterously stupid. Okay? I mean, that's not how intelligence works. We're not pre-programmed with some understanding of how the world works, you dumb fuck. You're not born a vegetarian. You're not born a carnivore. This is all bullshit. This is all cultural maturation. It's all about ideas injected into people's goddamn heads by propagandists, you dumb retard.
Children. And hence your receptiveness towards antinatalism may well have a genetic component. And the more...
Yeah, may well. So this is the crap. So this is the argument against silly asshole creationists holding up bullshit fake fossils, and you're doing something better? You're doing something different than what they're doing? This is not biological science. This is not consistent with any evidence. This is complete and utter crap. It is no better than a fucking creationist's bullshit. So you've lowered yourself to the creationist level, are talking complete and inane pseudoscience to make a silly and stupid petty argument because somehow you think life is good. I mean, god damn, you're an imbecile.
That you can spread those genes within the gene pool on a long-term basis, the more...
I mean, so look, this is what this asshole is just sitting there making a whole... After the fucking my response video to Thunderfoot, where I actually made this point over and over again, that fucking philosophy is not a genetic function, that my desire not to have children has absolutely nothing to do with my genetics, you dumb retard. I mean, this is just so pathetically stupid.
Success you are likely to have with people uptaking your idea of antinatalism and antinatalism really taking off. As it stands...
Yeah, like I said, I don't really need it to really take off. All I need is for people to have some kind of vague notion that, well, yeah, I chose not to have kids, so why would I want other people to subject people to this vulnerability, especially in shitholes like Indonesia and Bangladesh? Yeah, that's not exactly the kind of place I'd like to wake up and say, I'm here. Yeah, I really don't want to say I'm here in some shithole.
All you're going to do is weed out those people who are least interested in having children, statistically speaking, and more interested in accepting or more receptive to accepting antinatalism. So
wow, this is just so stupid. I mean, really, I can't believe I have to do this. I have to explain to somebody that this is not how biology works. A fucking goddamn person who thinks they're an atheist on the internet. Somebody who gets 2,411 views for a video of complete pseudoscience. This is pathetic.
Going to distill a population. You're actually acting as an extra selection pressure to select for individuals that want to have children.
Okay, you want to bet like $100,000, okay, that if we ask goddamn scientists whether this has any biological credibility whatsoever, you know, embryologists and all these other assholes, that this is the stupidest, most ignorant, fucktarded, goddamn non-scientific video. You want to have that bet? You have said nothing that has any scientific credibility whatsoever. You're a fucking creationist.
More than statistically on average they do now, which could over the long term lead to people having even bigger families and even more suffering.
Yeah, well, again, you are really, 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 really idiotic if you think there is any genetic connection between nataling, okay, having children, and genetics. All right? The DNA stops at our sex organs. It doesn't need us to want to have children. It doesn't need, because it knows that we would never understand the connection anyway. Do you think human beings a million years ago knew that having sex makes babies? Do you really think they knew that? You idiot.
So that's what I think. I think you're going about this totally the wrong way. If you're an anti...
I think you're an idiot. You're just too stupid. You're too fucking stupid.
Nicholas, and you think I'm wrong on that, well, here's your chance to come back at me. I'm sure that plenty will. This is quite a contentious subject.
No, it's not even that contentious a subject. What it should be the contentious subject is it should fucking atheists humiliate intellectualism. Should fucking atheists go, who get applauded by the atheist community because they'll insult a few creationists, and then they'll say something as preposterously stupid as this, something as unscientific as this, something as pull out of their ass as this, the same tactics as the creationists, just use pseudoscience to defend your mumbo-jumbo. And that's all you did in this video. Complete garbage science, okay, pulled out of your ass as a desperate effort to make a lame, petty argument.
Thank you for listening to this all in one take, first take. Brilliant stuff. Bye for now.
Yeah. Pitiful. Goddamn fucking pitiful. What the hell is that? Turn that off. Oh, that's the autoplay. Oh, man, that was horrible. So look, here we go. Excellent. You always provide food for thought. So the pseudoscience is selling to these assholes, these fucking imbeciles that call themselves atheists. No respect for science, no respect for the truth. Let's see what the truthful heretic said. I'd say reconsider this bit. After all, I gotta watch the video, not read a blog post well, I don't want to read all this fucking bullshit. Maybe so if they don't suggest that I agree with them totally or utterly. Philosophies are largely acquired as you go through life. Here we go. Philosophies are largely acquired as you go through life. What is being proposed here is that those with a strong maternal parental drive, no, we have sex drives, asshole, will be less likely statistically to adopt anal. Well, this again, you're still arguing the same crap. It's pseudoscience. You have nothing to back that up with. No evidence, no statistics, no nothing. There's no, our biology controls sex organs. The DNA molecule doesn't need us to understand nataling. It certainly needs, when people have babies, when they pop out, the mother needs to love them. That's a whole different instinct, shithead. Okay? But this idea that it is some sort of built-in, ingrained understanding of the mechanism, okay, that you have sex and that makes babies. No, that's not built in, shithead. And it's certainly not going to be any way you're going to get to the genetic code with an idea like, I desire to... you might have love babies. You might have somebody who has a strong desire to play with babies. You have child molesters, for Christ's sakes. So obviously there's people that are fucked up. But, this is just bullshit to call it a genetic component. You might as well, again, call religion genetic then, if you're going to play this game. Anyway... It's just a fucking pile of crap comments. Commenters even suck. But these are the generic puke atheists online. I don't watch any of these assholes for good reason. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Simpletons. I mean, the best they can do is like put a face plus poo. They're all fucking children with their intros. Let's see. There's no names I've written. I don't recognize any names in here anyway. Sarah Han, let's see if we get... Can't we get down to 40,000 people? That would be nice. Sporting events would be hilarious. 400,000 people. I don't even know what that means. I don't really think... Oh, look at that. Excellent funny vid from To Be Serious. So there you go. Supporting pseudoscience. Just preposterous nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I should natal because my genetic desire not to have kids will therefore be propagated. Because I have a genetic desire not to have kids. Brilliant. Yeah, that's great science. Yeah, let's have more of that great science. This is pitiful. Pitiful, pitiful. Let's see, shock of God. It's just a matter of when we exit out sooner rather than later. So what? I don't even know what that means. This Kevin Solway guy, the misogynist. Let's see what he says. Let's see. Tomorrow will be shaped by the children of those who have children. Not if some of the ethicists have their way. They want to destroy all life on the planet without waiting for any sort of democratic consensus. Well, again, so this is a lie. I mean, we would prefer democratic consensus. All we argued was that, yeah, if you had the end slavery button, would you press it? Yeah, if I had the solve the problem now, get it over with quick, yeah, I'd press the button. I just answered the question honestly, cunthead. In which case, there won't be any children in the future. Yeah, that's right. That's the idea, woman hater moron. Yeah, fuck these idiots. Pitiful. Yeah, and some of these people just talk, you know, look at this, 17 comments by this Tecalope guy. You know. Cosmic semen. Inmendham wasn't implying that people don't have the psychological desire to have children. He was merely pointing out that the desire to have children is not genetically based, but our innate desire to have sex is genetically based. People desire to have children socially and culturally reinforced starting at a very young age. For example, one person may have developed a desire to have kids while myself and others do not desire, and we both still have the drive to have sex. And let's see if anybody responded to it. No. So there's the perfectly rational argument. Oh, here we go. Schlock of God. Let's see. He merely pointed out blah, 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 genetic blaze. That makes sense. Why would genes that produce a desire in an organism to pass on its genes be beneficial to the success of the species? The nurturing, child-rearing, and child-protecting instincts are obviously social constructs. Well, I guess he's being sarcastic. But the point is that there's nothing overtly connecting the two acts, you stupid fuck. All right, there's nothing connecting sex to necessarily procreation as some sort of obvious implication. Okay, it's something that has to be discovered. It's not something you instinctively know. You don't know that my sex drive is actually producing potential children. So that's an association that doesn't exist. And my male desire would be entirely different than female because there are incentives built into this thing, right? And again, it has more to do with what happens when something's in front of you, not necessarily what happens when it's not in front of you. So obviously, even in the case of sex drive, often it's provoked by proximity. Okay, you are stimulated into it. You are seduced into it sometimes. Okay, and many times people are seduced into the nataling mode because of the atmosphere that's incentivizing that particular hunger. But it really isn't a genetic component. Alright, so these people are just too stupid. Alright, let's see. Well, I was looking for another response from Cosmic Semen, but I won't bother. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if there's just anything else in this shithead moronic video. Stupidest video ever made by this stupid fuck. Chabeach. Huh. You know, brilliant. LOL. Oh, you clever ducky. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Some sort of gay thing, I guess. Anyway. Chabeach is another brilliant example of genetics in action. Yeah, this is just pitiful. Desperately egomaniacal lunatics. Alright, well, enough of this shit. Alright, so let's just do the update and get the fuck out of town. I really hate atheists. They really are such sexist shit. So anyway, the what the fuck video should be up soon, so that's on there. Here's the response video to Grey Text, so we did that. Economics, so this is getting into the economics thing with the modern mystic. Should be an overview thing, how, you know, basics, how the game works, what's going to happen to the game as the game falls apart, blah blah blah. So it might be interesting. We'll see where it goes. It might be good, might turn into shit. Who knows? Response video to Chaz Charlton, just trying to explain the asymmetry thing over and over. Succeed, failed, I don't know. Just a junk video, but my junk videos generally aren't completely junk. Light bending logic. This ended up on some other subject. I can't remember. I was talking about physics and it ended up bleeding into tranquil, I guess. Yeah, so there's some stuff about tranquil in there. Here's a conversation I had on Skype with Heroin Church. So it's an MP3 file. It was a nice conversation. Kind of settled some things, maybe, possibly. Who knows, though. This was a video, got ingredients, time to mix and bake. I'm just going over the fact that we have all the arguments here. We have this basic explanation of what life is. We understand our psychology. We can see all the traps built into it, all the mechanisms of the DNA molecule in our psychology. And it's just time to grow up, smell the shit, and cover it with dirt. I mean, it's time to just bury this pile of duty. Just the other video to Chaz, mattering versus mattering. So this is just making the argument again about, people keep, diminishing the value of value. And so I have to keep pointing out that there is value in the universe, pretty accessible to our understanding. Really isn't that complicated. The hard problem of brain leakage. This was a good video, but I don't remember exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, this is the response to the Feta Samari marriage of convenience thing. But anyway, good luck, blah, blah, blah. Best solution to the unmade problem. Yeah, so that's the best solution, is the unmade problem. So if you don't make a problem, that's the easiest solution to any problem, is not to make the problem. And, yeah, that's antinatalism all over the place. There's last week's What the Fuck, the Stickam file, hedonism in Jonestown. That was a response to just a lot of people talking about cults crap, so I just wanted to make my sentiments known. And Great Text response video was Great Text is a fucking idiot. Another Great Text, Great Text, Great Text, Great Text. So, alright, so that should do it. So that's the website, donotgod.com, and the videos are on Bloggerdome. So if you click one of them, they will play in Bloggerdome. Well, they will. Eventually, there they'll load in Bloggerdome. There it is. And yeah, that's where the videos are. Let's see if there's any comments here. I'm so disgusted with the comment section on that video. So disgusted. It hurts my insides. Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, they're all assholes, so it doesn't, it's sort of, you're kind of known by your enemies kind of thing. And the more desperate the enemies, the more desperate the arguments, yeah, the more we're winning, right? I mean, when people start talking about how antinatalists should breed because their lack of desire to have children needs to be bred into the world, when most people are already behaving as if they're antinatalists. Let me say it again. Most people are already voluntarily, without even trying, behaving like an antinatalist. Let me say that again one more time. Most people are already, without being forced to, without being asked to, even though there's incentives not to be, financial incentives not to be antinatalists, are already behaving like antinatalists. Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah. So I don't think I need to genetically fix the problem. I think genetically the problem's already fixed. Okay? We know where the problem is. It's called ignorance. Okay? And lack of opportunity. That's where the problem is. Lack of civilization. Lack of intelligence, lack of choices. That's where the problem is. Idiots. I don't need to convince anybody. It seems quite obvious that people really don't like babies quite as much as the propaganda implies.